Good morning, children. Students, I am Aarti here to explain the first chapter from the book Honeydew for Standard 8. The title of the story is The Best Christmas Present in the World. Before starting up with the lesson, let me say a few words about the author, Michael Morpurgo. He was born on 5th October 1943 in United Kingdom. He was a poet, playwright, and known for the best children novels. At present, he lives with his wife in England. Let us now move to the story. Before reading the story, students, you need to know the characters who come across the story. First and foremost is the narrator of the story, Michael Morpurgo, who is also the author of this lesson. He is the narrator. Narrator means one who tells the story to us. So he is the person who tells the story or narrates the story to all of us. So then comes the characters. Connie, Mrs. Jim Macpherson. So Connie was Mr. Jim Macpherson's wife. We call her either Connie or Mrs. Jim Macpherson. So secondly comes Mr. Jim Macpherson. He's an army man. He's a British army man. Then next comes two more characters, that is Tommy and Fritz. Tommy is a name given to a British soldier and Fritz is a name given to a German soldier. So these two names, Tommy and Fritz, are a nickname given to a person whom we don't know. We used to call a person who we don't know, that is an unknown person. So here, since the story involves during the British and German war, so here both the Germans and the British, they don't know each other. They don't know each other. So they use these names. So the German soldiers called the British soldiers as Tommy and the British soldiers called the German soldiers as Fritz. Next, the most important thing is that you had to remember two more important things in this lesson, which is involved in this lesson. One is an address and second is a date. The address is 12 Copper Beeches, Bridport, Dorset. This is where the story begins. So 12 Copper Beeches, Bridport, Dorset is where the story begins. Next is the date, December 26, 1914. So this date mentions to the war between British and German. So children, you have to keep both these things in your mind. Remember these two things because the story involves with these two important things. So let us begin with the reading of the first paragraph. I'll be explaining you the first part of the story. The story is divided into 3 parts. So in this video session, I will be explaining you the first part of the story. Before reading the story, children, you can see some dates mentioned in the text. So we will discuss about these dates later in a later video session. So first we will start reading the first paragraph of the story. I spotted it in a junk shop in Bridport, a roll-top desk. So here the narrator says that he had spotted a roll-top desk in a junk shop. Spotted means saw or found. So this narrator, Michael Morpurgo, he went to a junk shop and he saw a roll desk top. The man said it was early 19th century and oak. I had wanted one. but they were far too expensive. So the narrator again says that the desk belonged to the early 19th centuries and it was made of oak. Oak is one kind of wood. He was always wanting to buy a roll top desk and he was hesitating because it was too expensive. This one was in bad condition. The roll top in several pieces, one leg clumsily mended, scotch marks all down one side. So he says the desk was fully damaged, clumsily mended. Clumsily mended means it was already worn out and it was made and it has already been repaired. Then he says that it had several scotch marks on it. Scotch marks means burn marks, that the desk was somehow damaged by fire. It was going for very little money. I thought I would restore it. It would be a risk, a challenge, but I had to have it. So he says it had been already damaged and in bad condition, so it would be worth only little money. So he decided to buy the roll top desk. He thought it would be a challenge or risk to restore it, but anyhow he badly wanted to buy one such thing, so he decided to buy it. I paid the man and brought it back to my workroom at the back of the garage. I began work on it on Christmas Eve. So what happened? The narrator, he decided to buy the roll top desk. So he paid to the junk shop person. He brought the desk to his workroom, which was back of his garage. Garage is a place where we park our vehicles. So his workroom is at the back of the garage. So he brings back the desk to the workroom to repair it. So he starts repairing the desk on a Christmas Eve. I removed the roll top completely and pulled out the drawers. The veneer had lifted almost everywhere. So what happened? He removed the roll top completely and he saw that it had several drawers. And he tried to pull one by one. And he said that the veneer had lifted almost everywhere. Veneer means a thin layer of plastic or wood, a decorative piece of plastic or wood which we cover the wooden furnitures with decorative things like that, something like that. So he saw that the veneer everywhere had been come out, and he was trying to pull the drawers and he was trying to see what all repairs should be done with the roll top desk. It looked like water damage to me. So he says why this veneer had come out from all the part. So he came to the conclusion that it has been water damage. Somehow had poured water on it, so all the veneer had come up. Both fire and water had clearly taken their role on the desk. The last drawer was stuck fast. So he came to the conclusion that the roll top desk was completely damaged with both fire and water. Tall means damaged. So it was damaged with both water and fire. He tried to pull the drawers one by one and he found that the last drawer was stuck very tight. It was stuck very fast. I tried all I could to ease it out gently. In the end, I used brute force. I struck it sharply with the side of my fist and the drawer flew open to reveal a shallow space underneath a secret drawer. So the last drawer was very difficult to come out. It got stuck up. So the narrator was Mr. Michael Morpeko. He tried with all his might to pull the drawer out, but he couldn't do it. So he showed his strength. He used his fist to tap on the roll top desk, and he tapped on the desk and the drawer flew open. When the drawer opened, he found a secret door underneath the drawer, underneath the last drawer. There was something in there. I reached in and took out a small black tin box. So to his surprise, he saw a secret drawer in the last drawer. And even more to his surprise was that he found a small black tin box inside that secret drawer. Sellotaped to the top of it was a piece of lined note paper, and written on it in shaky handwriting, Jim's last letter, received January 25, 1950. So inside the small black box, the narrator found a sellotaped letter, and on top of the letter it was written that in shaky handwriting it was written Jim's last letter, and it was dated January 25, 1915. So the narrator came to a conclusion that it was a letter which was hidden in this secret drawer. And again, some more things were also mentioned on it. To be buried with me when the time comes. So what happened? This letter was someone's letter which the desk belonged to. And it was mentioned that it was the last letter of Mr. Jim, and it should be buried with the owner of the roll top desk when the time comes. I knew as I did it that it was wrong for me to open the box. So the narrator says that he felt very wrong. He felt something which he was doing wrong, that he has opened a secret of someone else and he thought it was wrong. But his curiosity didn't stop him. But curiosity got the better of my sculpture. Sculpture means a feeling to do which is something wrong. So with curiosity made him to do the wrong deed. So he opened the letter and he wanted to read what is the content of the letter. Inside the box there was an envelope. The address read Mrs. Jim Macpherson, 12 Copper Beeches, Bridport, Dorset. I took out the letter and unfolded it. It was written in pencil and dated at the top December 26, 1914. So inside that box he found an envelope, and on top of the envelope there was an address written Mrs. Jim Macpherson, 12 Copper Beeches, Bridport, Dorset. I hope children you remember this address which I told you before starting the story. So this is where the story begins. So this letter was addressed to Mrs. Jim Macpherson, that is Connie, wife of Jim Macpherson, and the date when the letter was written is December 26, 1914. Now we come to the end of the part 1, that is part 1 of the story in this session. So this video session will end in this part 1. In my next video session, I will be explaining you the second part of the story, that is part 2. So I hope children, all of you enjoyed this part 1 explanation. So if you have any doubts, you can call me. Thank you.